How is everyone affording life right now? Single income military member. Several kids at home with some wife. Buying a house instead of renting. Costco, Winco, and my wife coupons and deal shops like it's a hobby. We eat out maybe once or twice a month. Make every single meal at home and I eat all leftovers at work for lunch. Child tax credit refund goes into savings and is used for a yearly vacation, Christmas, and yearly items for the home and emergency fund. I video game and brew my own beer. Being military has tons of free perks such as free museum passes, free state fair days, and free state and federal park passes to name a few. Good jobs, no kids, live in a 1BR apt. Our rent bills are roughly 7-8 of our combined income per month. I get our cats a sashimi lunch special regularly from this kick-ass Japanese place near me. We are in our 40s now. Up to around mid-30s I lived paycheck to paycheck and the struggle was very real. We learned to live very frugal and have stuck to it even after getting good jobs. Our phone plan is $10 a month and my current phone is a used Pixel 4a I bought for $80 about 2 years ago. Don't plan to upgrade anytime soon. Dual income, no kids yet. We have decent paying jobs, no student loan debt. I'm a massage therapist, so I went to a trade school and he just worked hard to work his way up. We don't really travel so we aren't spending huge chunks of change at a time, and we both have used cars so no car payment. Honestly, it feels very unnerving that we feel as comfortable as we do while everyone else our age late 20s or early 30s talks about struggling. It feels like I've forgotten to pay something for the last 10 years. I'm not. I live in a major US city. I am 25. I graduated college May 2020 with a media production degree, when all the studios were closed. I worked odd jobs to find my current position in late 2021. I make $18. 22 hours after 2 years with my company. I am only guaranteed 32 hours as full-time. My rent with utilities ends up being $1,000 for my share. I have a 2-bed 2-bath I share with a roommate. I barely break even. I have zero savings and am excited for the holidays just to get a little extra cash. I worked 2 jobs between 2008 and 2021. Then in 2021, I got a job promotion that allowed me to actually afford living. I stepped down from doing my second job, enjoyed my evenings, started reconnecting with friends, building up myself socially. Then 2022 decided I'm not allowed to have nice things and the cost of living doubled, rent rocketed upwards, and the property I was thinking of getting left far out of reach. So I'm back to working 2 jobs again. I shop at Holiday for most of my groceries. Huge difference in prices. I can get a week's worth of groceries for $150 there. Bringing lunch. Eating out less. I make a high salary in an expensive city and have 2 kids. I live in a cheap apartment that I got into over a decade ago before prices skyrocketed. Saving money is impossible because all my money goes towards maintaining life. I'm seeking a second job even though I make almost $150K annually. I'm not. I left an abusive relationship with nothing but the clothes on my back and what I had in my son's diaper bag. We stayed at the homeless shelter and now I'm renting a room from someone. I work 2 part-time jobs but between rent and daycare, I'm barely scraping by. I'm still waiting for a court date for child support and I'm hoping I'm granted an amount that my ex will have to pay that will help me afford life a little more easily. Over the past 3 years, housing expenses dropped by $500 a month after refinancing my house. Commuting expenses no change. Entertainment expenses no change, but I now only subscribe to 1-2 streaming services at a time instead of like 10 different ones and cycle through what I subscribe to. Grocery expenses increase like $100 a month, $25 per trip. Salary increased by $20,000 a year. Mother had to give us money. 12th year of teaching. 4th year in a row we only got a 2 raise. Taxes went up almost 10. Mortgage went up $250 a month. Insurance went up $2,000 a year and we can't find much cheaper. Was speaking to admin and they said teaching really isn't a job anymore for supporting a family. Most successful teachers have a rich spouse. Fuck off. I worked my ass off for 30 years at one job and got a pension. My wife worked her ass off in her job for over 20 years and got a pension, and we always paid cash and never went heavily into debt. Once we retired, we combined our social security, taken early, and our pensions, and somehow we are continuing to survive paycheck to paycheck. And we're fucking lucky, I guess. During the pandemic when everyone was busy making sourdough and otherwise wasting a year of their lives, I taught myself programming and became a software engineer. I constantly have to stop myself complaining about the post-pandemic world because the pandemic gave me the opportunity to change my life. Making double now what my salary was back then. I'm not. Every day is a struggle. I make decent money, but rent is outrageous, as are groceries. I feel like everyone is reaching into my pocket. 5.99 here, 14.99 adds up. I remember in the 70s there were these guys called bachelors. They lived alone, had a car, went on vacations, bitched about life. Something changed. Single, jumped jobs a lot until I found the one. Bought my house on 10 acres in 2015 for dirt cheap, paid it off, it's worth like 300 more now. I clear 200K at a state job in tech, pension and free healthcare. I take care of my parents in retirement and will retire myself in 10 years, if I feel like it, at 45. Dink with my girlfriend of 6 years, plus live well below our means with the goal of investing a minimum of 20 of every dollar we earn each, as well as each having a side gig that brings in weekly cash we use for our dates. Fun money, which helps towards the ability to save money from our actual salaries. Much better than last year. If not better than the last 10. I actually have a somewhat disposable income, which is great considering that I was living paycheck to paycheck. Sinking and making late payments every month. Collecting a car full of cans. My benefits all came out of my check too. Never again. Very haphazardly slapping together whatever will work, and it somehow keeps working out. So many random irons in the fire, bill payment plans and all that. Really lame. I'd love to been able to be more comfortable, but every time I get close they raise a few bills and items at the store. Live in family-owned condo, $700 a month rent, $100 a week budget for food, trucks $1,200. Don't buy myself jack shit, so the remainder of my 110K salary goes to savings and investments. Feel lucky. It's hard to watch many Canadian people spending $2,500 a month on rent. Not good. Went food shopping yesterday. $227. No meat aside from some deli turkey and salami. Stopped eating outside of the house, get coffee and work, basically no social life. Salary has gone up with periodic promotions, but whatever I couldn't afford 10 years ago I can't afford now, by being middle-aged and having bought my expensive stuff a long time ago. Aside from that, I got nothing new. Cut costs by getting rid of the nice-to-haves. No eating out, no designer coffees, get a roommate or two, transit instead of private vehicle, etc. Good luck. My husband never had children, worked for 40 years and saved like a motherfucker. I have a decent job. No kids, no dependents except for a beautiful pit bull. We're also not stupid with money. We live way below our means and will continue to do so. I work as a SR software engineer and make an above average salary. But I also live in a high-collar part of the country, have no shot of buying an actual place, rent my 1BR apartment and wonder why I'm just lighting money on fire every month. This sucks. Overtime, paid holidays, bringing lunch to work. I got a better gas mileage car for the commute as well. It's also been pretty festive at work lately with all the free food. I make sure there's at least one day a week I don't leave the house as well. My union has negotiated a wage increase of around $20,000 compared to our wages 2 years ago. We have the potential for more with incentives. Still not wealthy or anything because we were severely underpaid before, but thank God for unions. Luckily I started a well-paid career last year, couldn't have timed it better. TBH, requires staying away from my family during the week, but we cope. Cheap and also helps. Trying to save for our first place wouldn't be possible without it. Find a niche line of work no one is willing to do. It pays out big over the long haul. I fix anything that heats stuff up or cools stuff down in restaurants. There's literally no one in the market that can do what I do successfully. Snuck into the last great private sector union job 6 years ago and rode unprecedented growth to a high-paying position, working 6-12 days a month, major airline captain. Mostly dumb luck and learning a super niche skill. Retired 5 years ago. Biggest difference to me is food is double what it was before COVID. I can still afford to get what I want, but it's still amazing how a 80-cent bottle Gatorade Zero, before COVID, is now $1.69. I'd $2,000 for mortgage, make about $5K a month. Save $1,500 a month usually. Solo income. Just chillin'. RN at a hospital. Was in school and working full-time for about 5-6 years LPN. Took a while but it paid off. Lol, I live in my van and work 7 days a week. FML right? But in the last 6 months, I've saved up so much more money than I've had in years. It's not forever, my plan is working, and I still got dreams. I'm literally not. I have maybe $60 for the next 2 weeks to feed my family, pay for bus fare, help with gas, and do laundry with. And we can't get any assistance because we make too much money. Well, most of my debt has been paid off. I have maybe 1 or 2 more credit cards left. I'll pay them off after the holidays are over. I don't really buy things for myself, I like to save my money. Double income, no kids. Have a good paying job with great job security. Bought a house when interest rates were still low. It's definitely not easy, but I know it could be a lot worse. Making sacrifices. Buying in bulk for everyday items in Costco. Expensive upfront but saves money. Cooking breakfast every day. Bringing lunches. Cooking dinner every night. Middle age, making okay money with no kids, living in a duplex and renting out the other side. I have zero idea how people do big house, yard, 3 kids and 2 cars. No kids, I split a mortgage with my best friend and work. I don't own any debt other than my house. My car is 20 years old, paid off, and a Toyota. I'm 46, upside down face. Dual income, no kids. Working 2 jobs. 1 full-time, 1 part-time, and putting 20 hours a week into side hustles. Edit see below explanation of my work schedules. I have good financial literacy, but if you get in a pinch, you have to subtract from your quality of life somewhere and allocate it towards basic needs instead.